Well, hello friends, neighbors, John, your whiskey neighbor here, and welcome down the Nook. It's a Sunday, so we're going to shoot some samples. However, I am out of Irish samples, even though it is Irish month. So we're going to do some bourbon samples. You know, this week celebrated the 125th anniversary of the Bottled and Bond Act in the US. So I missed the day, but why don't we shoot a couple of Bottled and Bonds? And these samples came from Ray, and I am anticipating some goodness. So this one was E.H. Taylor Small Batch Bottle and Bond, and this one is Wild Turkey Masters Keep 17 Bottle and Bond. So Wild Turkey Masters Keep and E.H. Taylor Small Batch. If you've got any Bottle and Bond or any Bottle and Bond at all, when you pour it, and then come on back. 3, 4. Well, in case you couldn't tell from the opening, I am definitely looking forward to these samples from Ray. I guess before I get into this E.H. Taylor, I should talk just a little bit about the Bottled and Bond Act. There's some finer points, but the big ones are to be bottled and bond, it should be aged for 4 years. It should be produced in a single season at a single distiller. I think it's supposed to be under the supervision of a single master distiller, something like that. And it should be released at 50% ABV and aged in a federally bonded warehouse, which ensures that nothing strange is being added to the whiskey as it's aging. So it can, of course, be older, as you heard. You know, the Master's Keep is 17, but the minimum is 4 years. And it was really, I think, a pivotal, as I just read, comments and whatnot on history, a real pivotal point of ensuring quality in bourbon being produced. So certainly important. Now there's a huge variety in terms of expense, quality in Bottled and Bond, but I would say I tend to like Bottled and Bond products. Let's start with this. This is E.H. Taylor Small Batch, so it's out of Buffalo Trace. It's their low rye mash bill, so under 10% rye. And with all that stuff that I already said, we know 4 years, we know 50% or 100 proof. Let's see what it tells us. Oh, sweet caramel, brown sugars. Oh, a little bit of dry oak coming up there. Some spicing in the nose, a little bit of cinnamon. What a contrast from the Irish I've been drinking almost exclusively over the last 2 weeks. Let's try it on the palate. Cheers. Very good. Nice drying oak, actually, but rich, thick caramels. A little bit of cooked apple or cut apple, like candy apple. That's too much apple, but I'm trying to get at this. At first, I'm getting this apple, but that caramel is just not going away. That's why I went to a candied or caramel apple. Oh, rolled in brown sugar or something. And there's definitely some spicing, some cinnamon, some oaks. Boy, just, I don't want to make this all about that, but coming from Irish, the oak is so nice and deep, a bit of char, but very expressive. Another sip, just because I'm enjoying it. By the third sip, it's dried up a little bit in the finish, so now I'm getting that little bit of puckering, drying finish. Not overly so, but it lends to a spicier, drier finish. And some char, more oak, but sweet. Sweet up front, spicy in the palate. The fruits toward apple for me, or dark cherry. And just a nice backbone of oak all the way through. So a sample of Master's Keep. Wild Turkey Master's Keep, 17 years old. This is the Bottled and Bond version. Again, both samples came from Ray. What a gentleman, eh? Let's see what the Master's Keep is like on the nose. Oh, add a little bit of that characteristic Wild Turkey sourness. Still some cinnamons, a little bit of peppers and spicing on the nose. For fruiting, I am a little more toward cherry, a little less apple that I was getting on the E.H. Taylor, and definitely that just characteristic wild turkey, beautiful sourness now. Really like it. Soured cherries if you could. Less caramels, a little bit more vanilla. Let's try it on the palate. Cheers. Much deeper spice palette. A little bit of anise, a little bit of some savory baking spices. What a depth in the wood. I was going to go after, yeah, what is that? There's a little bit of something in the palate I'm going to come back to. Did I say anise? It's something like a little bit of that. Not strong, but just a little bit. It's definitely have more spice. It's not, wild turkey is not super high rye. It's about 13%. But it is spicier for me. Both a variety of peppers, a little bit of cracked black, a little bit of white pepper, and then some hotter cinnamons. But it is in the early finish and now in the very long finish that the different layers of oak are coming on. Coming off of Irish, this was all about the oak. I said it a lot. Now coming into this, there's just a maturity to this. Got to try it again. Cheers. So as I try to unpack what I mean by maturity, because of course, I'm biased, I suppose, 17 versus 4. I know this is an older product, but older cocoa or espresso, mocha, that kind of thing, a little bit of coffee. Yeah, I'm trying to get at, like, what are the layers that I'm talking about? This is exceptional. I actually don't want to take another sip with you because I've been working all morning trying to get a moment to shoot with you guys, and both of these are delightful, but this deserves like the next hour. I wish there was beautiful weather and I could be on a deck and I could just be, listening to the sounds of being outside and sipping a bourbon like this. It is truly exceptional. I don't star rate samples because I just poured them now. I sampled them for the first time with you, so it's just not fair to the whiskey, but I will say enjoying both. Would gladly have a bottle of either. This has won my heart for today for sure, and I am looking forward to maybe a little bit left in the evening to just relax. Thank you for joining me here. Hope you've had some good bottle and bond products. Why don't you share some of your favorites, some of maybe your go-tos, or one of your reaches, like something like this where, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. Maybe this is where we're going. Anyways, share some experiences, share some comments. Thanks again for dropping in. Hopefully we'll see you next time.